Index is down over 4%, reversing all of the gains of yesterday. For the week, the Nifty Pharma Index is down nearly 3%. Vinnii is now joining in. She's been analyzing the impact of impending tariffs on the pharma sector and what they could be. Vinnii?
Afternoon. So obviously yesterday what we were talking about is that Pharma was exempt from the list as of now. They were reviewing those documents. Now we have commentary that's coming from President Trump. He's saying that he will be announcing tariffs in the near future and it's not the distant future. So we could expect it sometime soon. And he's also highlighted that the tariffs which will be coming this time on the pharma sector will be something that we have never seen before. So does that mean that we could see higher tariffs? Are currently India 26%. So could it be higher than 26%? Now we have analyzed some bit of a data. There's a note that's coming from CLSA highlighting the impact of different tariff rates. Firstly, let's talk about the 10% rate. Now for Dr. Reddy's, currently obviously the exposure that they have is somewhere around that 40%, more than 40% in that 40-50% range. So then if Dr. Reddy's does see an impact of 10% tariff, it would be 12%. Aurobindo would see an impact of 15% in terms of EBITDA. This is for FY26 and FY27 if this is 10% tariff, and Zydus would also see an impact of 12%. When you see a 20% rate, it would come in at somewhere around 23% impact on Dr. Reddy's. Aurobindo would be 30%, Zydus would be 24%. Now, if you look at it in terms of the higher rates, that would be 30 and 40%, a sharper impact would come in, obviously. And for Aurobindo and Dr. Reddy's, Zydus, it would be in the range of around 35-36, and Aurobindo is the highest, 45% impact on that front. 40% is obviously very, very high impact that we're watching out for. So that is a major impact that comes in for these companies specifically. Why? Because the exposure that they have to US is somewhere in the range of 45 to 49% to 50% approximately at that level. Now let's talk about the other companies, that is Lupin, Sun Pharma as well as Cipla. For Lupin, Sun Pharma and Cipla, the exposure is below 40%. It's in somewhere around 32 to 40% in that range. So Lupin would see an impact of 11% if it was 10% tariff and 23% if it was 20% tariff. Sun Pharma 8 to 16%, a bit lower in terms of impact, while Cipla for the 10 and 20% would be 9 and 17. 30 and 40% would be higher. Now, the main reason that CLSA is highlighting is that these companies see a high risk. Generic players specifically will see a higher risk coming in, and overall Indian companies contribute around 46% to the generic savings in terms of the US healthcare system. So that is a big amount and a big chunk that goes into the US healthcare system. And what CLSA believes that even if tariffs are imposed, we will be able to pass it on, and that is why they think that there will be a bit of a shift that we could see in terms of the share coming in across the globe, but surely important to watch out for in terms of the impact and how much will actually be passed on.
Okay. All right. Got it, Vinnii. Thanks very much. So now we are, again in uncharted territory, uncertain territory with respect to pharma. Vivek Paul, Head of Portfolio Research